Hey there, Titans, and welcome back to another Titan Academy video. Today we're going to be talking about how to set up a draft option for your end users when accessing your portal or your form or whatever it might be. We have two different ways that we can set up draft options. One would be using our submissions object in Salesforce, and we'll have another video showing exactly how to do that. But today we'll be focusing on how to use normal pushes to your objects in Salesforce to store partial data so that your end user can come back and continue filling out their form whenever they'd like. Let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to need to do in order to make this work is we need some way of identifying our user so that we know who's coming back in and whose data we should load back into the form. So there are a few methods of doing this. The easiest and best method is using the SmartV. Of course, we have SSO and other secure methods, but you want to make sure that it's secure, that the data is really being protected, and that your end user, you know who your end user is, and you know exactly who is coming to log in so that you can show them those details they've already filled out. Now, we've already done videos on SmartV, so I'm not going to focus too much on this section, but I'm just going to show you what we've got set up here. We've got a contact access where, based on the contact's email, they can come in and access our form or portal. And we've also got 2FA to make it slightly more secure. And we also have a registration page for those who are brand new, so that if you're new, you can sign up and access the portal anyway. And we're just passing one simple parameter, which is an account ID, so that in the event that an account already exists for this contact, we'll be able to pre-fill their data and they won't have to actually fill everything out. All right, so let's go ahead and do generate SmartV login. And the next thing that we need are these custom buttons. Now, normally when you have a stepper, if we head over to interactivity, your stepper will have these controls to go next and back. Now, because we are doing a draft option, we're going to want to push the data on every step of the way so that we don't lose any of the end user's data, and each time they click next, we're saving that data. And in order to do that, we need to use our own custom buttons. So we're going to go ahead and hide those controls under interactivity for the stepper, and then we'll create our button. Now, I already have my button set up, and what I'm doing is something simple. I'm running an account push, and let's take a look quickly at this push. It's a simple update where I'm updating my account. So I'm updating my account. Now, this is really an upsert because I'm also allowing for create in the event that I don't have an account, which is very likely I won't already have an account, but this will run an update or create based on, the update is based on the, it's got a bit messed up. Let's just reset this. Let's go back here, head over to our conditions. All right, so our condition is simple. It's just that the account ID for the account matches that account variable that we're populating from our SmartV. Again, we could check out the SmartV videos to learn how to do that, but I just showed you briefly in the beginning of this video. We're bringing this in from the contact. If it exists, it will update the account. Otherwise, it will not. Now, the mapping is all set up as well. And I'm also relating this account to the contact. So I have the contact because that's who my user who's logging in is, and that's based on that ID, my SmartV ID. But I'm also updating the account to match the account ID of the account that I'm either updating or creating so that I make sure I associate that account with that contact. And I'm returning the account ID in the event that it's a brand new account so that I can later associate this account with my contact. Now, the other thing I'm doing is I'm heading over to stepper interactivity and I'm going next step. And that way it will first create the account and then go to the next step where I create or update my contact. Now, I've got a back button that's simply going back in my stepper. And I've got a next button that is similar to our previous one. I'm pushing a contact, which is simply an update because I already have the contact because he's already signed in through SmartV. And then I'm going next on my stepper just like this. Finally, I've got a finish button that is just pushing my file and then showing a message saying, well done, you're all set up. All right, now the other thing I need here is I need gets to populate or pre-populate my form when my user logs in. So let's go ahead and check out the gets that we have set up. We have two gets. One is for account, and we'll just give it a description, get account data. And of course, this is only if there already is an account. It's again based on that variable that I'm populating through my SmartV that's coming from my contact. And I'm just bringing in all the possible fields I can onto my form. Same thing with my contact. Now this always will run, this always will work, and that's because I'll already have a contact because he has to register before he even accesses my portal. And again, I'm just populating fields on the form. All right, now I've decided when to run those, and what I'm doing here is I'm running those on every time action of this page. Every time I get to this page, I run both my account and my contact get. I'm doing it in parallel load to save some time, and that gets all the data that I need into my project. All right, so that's basically everything we need. Let's take a look and see if it works. All right, so let's say I don't have an account. We're going to sign up with a brand new one. I'm going to say Paul Rand, and we'll give it an email that I can actually get 2FA for. Okay, we'll go ahead and log in. So we've essentially just created a contact in Salesforce, and here's my verification code for that contact. And as you can see, it tried to populate my account, but I don't have an account, and that's why these are all green, and it looks like they were given empty values. I'm just going to hop quickly over to contact, and generally you want to freeze these so that your user can't jump around without saving, without using your buttons. I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But just to show you, we can see here that our contact partial information was populated. That's what we have on them in Salesforce. Let's go ahead and fill out the rest. So let's fill out some company too. We'll give it an industry. We'll leave the phone blank, and I'm just going to go ahead and click the next button. And now let's refresh here. I've turned off my session on SmartV. So when I refresh, it's going to log us out. You don't need to do this, of course. You can have a logout button or different methods. Let's go ahead and log back in. Just going to grab that email that we used to register. And I need my security code. Excellent. Now I'm logged back in. You can see those details are pre-filled. And so essentially, by clicking next, I'm saving that data and I'm creating some sort of draft. Let's fill in some more information. So that'll update my account with some more data. All right, and let's stop one more time. We'll refresh, we'll log back in, and we'll see for a final time that draft data that we pushed to Salesforce. Now keep in mind, we are pushing to real objects, and this can be problematic to have some partial data. So if you want, you can also push to dummy objects or objects that are used for drafting and then bring that back. And then when you're finally finished, you can push to the real objects on the final step. But just to take a look what's going on here, in the account, we got back all that data we pushed. In the contact, we got back all that data. And now we would be able to finish, upload the rest of our information here and push it all to Salesforce. So that was just a small demonstration. Of course, we can, this would be useful on a much larger form, on a much bigger portal where the end user can be filling in a lot of data. The last thing I just want to touch upon, first of all, I did promise to show how to disable the click up here because you want them using your buttons. So head over to your stepper and make sure that you say disable name click, and that will make sure that they can't click any of the above controls. Besides for that, I just want to mention that a lot of times you want your end user to end up back in the step that they finished. So for example, if I've already finished one, I want to already just jump straight to two. I don't want to see one every time I log back in. And this is also possible by writing conditions on your stepper or on a variable where you can push this step to Salesforce. For example, I can say I'm currently on step 2, and when I click next, I'm pushing that step to Salesforce to a field that's called steps. And now I know that it's step 2. I can bring that back into my project, and then I can, based on the step that I bring back from Salesforce, I can conditionally, by setting up a condition on the variable, I can conditionally send my end user to different steps based on what step he last finished. And we can show that in a different video, but just for extra ideas of how you can set up this draft ability. And that's how it's done.